Posting, and we're on live again. Okay, finally, I think we got this thing ironed out. Somebody owes you an apology, but it's not us.
This is not the apology cast, I promise.
That's right. This time, this is a total external locus of control here, and none of these things were my fault.
And also, can we discuss a name change at some point, or a potential name change at some point?
For the community?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. We'll have to, let's see what John Ellis thinks, I guess.
Please do, because it's the only one that's not logical or pronounceable. My whole list. I read you my list, and all of them make sense. All of them you can tell what the community's about, and ours is a clusterfuck alphabet soup of what? What? What?
What?
What?
Say, huh? All right, so back to our topic from last week. I don't remember where we left off.
We actually stuck to topics. I mean, to the whole GMO. Is it bad for you? What different companies have done, the litigation, the fact that if you accidentally grow, Roundup resistant crop, that's not a problem, that they actually only sue the people who are trying to screw them over because they're the ones that invested.
We nearly set a bad precedent by how much we stayed on topic. I think we went off a little bit. That was good, so we're consistent to some degree.
Mm-hmm. The other Mike suggested discussing some linguistics, some good topics came up like that.
Yeah, he's in contact with someone who he wants to get in here to talk with us. Hopefully that'll work out.
Has all kinds of expertise we didn't know about.
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Mike is super humble. Like I'm interested in hearing about all this stuff, and you're like, I don't really want to say too much. Like I'm interested in all of that, all the stuff, from the dairy to the stuff about Monsanto to the saccharin, all that. Like I'm interested every last bit of it. I feel like that's insider knowledge. I don't know. It's anecdotal, but somehow it seems so much more relevant.
Maybe he's afraid that Big Agra will come looking for him if he says too much.
Well, Big Garter Snake is much scarier. Do watch yourself.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Big Garter Snake than,
you need to be.
I will say, Brandy pointed out that, with Big Garter Snake, like here we started talking about Big Garter Snake, and I just recently got into a fender bender. Michael McElroy today got into a fender bender. We're all having technical difficulties, so don't blame us for the bad podcast today, bad hangout.
Next time you see a garter snake, blame
Big Garter Snake. It's all BGS.
We've come on their radar, so now they're gonna start screwing with us.
If they just send us checks, we'd start talking about how that's a stupid thing. What? Who? No. But garter snakes. Have you seen one? They can't hurt you. What? Come on.
Harmless. That's what they
BGS, you know where to find me. Send me a check. Yeah.
Shill.
Unpaid shill for the man.
Next week we're doing hangouts at your house. I'm going to do the hangout. Did you see my post about that?
I did not see that.
Oh.
We're going to hang out at my house, all right?
Yes, I consider it real
everybody's coming over? What?
Yeah. Yeah. In the comment section, you have an official stalker. I was like, I consider that a real invite, and I will be there directly.
Well, all right then. Guess I'll make sure the place is clean or something.
Oh, my God. Please. Are you trying to be funny? Oh, my place looked like a hurricane hit it.
There's like some receipts on the counter over there and stuff.
Shut up. I'm going to break in your new teapot. I want to make chai and mess up your new teapot.
Nice. All right. So we have a couple comments that aren't really questions or anything. One was just what?
Yeah, what?
Yes, we all agree. What?
What? So, did anyone check out Nigel's community about the GMO?
Yeah, I was very humbled by that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he was here to talk. I just let him.
He was here a minute ago. I don't know where he went, but he was here.
Yeah, he was on text.
He said he's camera shy. I'm like, yeah, please. You have stuff to talk about. Come on.
Well, and I said that camera shy or not, he could definitely
contribute.
He could definitely get on here and just do voice if he wanted.
With Mike, it's like pulling teeth, and he's got so much interesting stuff he's keeping from us.
I'm still sending Nigel an invite anyway. So.
Absolutely, please. I was gonna pressure him, and I thought, okay,
we'll spam him with invites until one of these days he shows up.
I have an annoying voice, and I managed to get on here and talk anyway.
Nigel said hide the GMOs. Well, I guess this isn't exactly GMOs. The sweet, evil, sugar-free drink.
Yeah.
What they did
Science.
Splenda is really cool science, though, because what they did is actually change the shape of the molecule so the body doesn't recognize it as sugar, but it's made from sugarcane. So, I mean, that's incredible. They just changed its shape, and, you know, the shape of something determines its function. It's awesome.
Enzyme technology. It's wonderful.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
That sounds like the devil if I've ever heard it.
A protein shape determines its function, yep. You change it just a little bit, and you can get away with murder. I eat so much of that Splenda, and it never spikes my blood sugar. The body is completely unaware.
Well, working early on when I worked for the food companies, I mean, there was a lot of neat stuff. And when I started learning about how NutraSweet was made, I'm like, wow, that's cool. You're all you're doing is building up molecules, and you're splitting, and you're recombining stuff. Hydrogenation, that's a neat little process. I didn't.
Oh yeah, hydrogenized oils, how they can take a liquid and make it a butter-esque thing. I can't believe bullocks if this is custard batter. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. And actually, the funny thing was when they were explaining, like for how, because pretty much, let's see. I know the NutraSweet, there was the hydronators. It's hydrogenated. The one sugar company, have the sorbitol, maltitol is hydrogenated. And the only reason why I think the big reason why they do it is for shelf life.
And consistency too, right? They like the texture of it when it's changed like that.
Yeah, but because when the guy was explaining the process to me, because it's the idea is to scavenge up all the oxygen that's entrained in the in whatever you're working with, whatever sugars and stuff, and it's the oxygen that breaks everything down. So if you eliminate it, you go from a 2-week, 3-week shelf life to 6 month to a year shelf life. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're changing the little chain, the little.
But
connection.
But I guess the side result is you get these free radicals that get loose. Now, the company, I'm getting into trade secrets here, so I got to be very cautious. But some companies don't. Some companies do remove those free radicals before they ship it out. I won't get into those gory details.
No, but it was on the news, even like trans fats. That's why those were banned, because trans fats, it makes a very nice, satisfying product, from a consumer standpoint, but it's actually like terribly poisonous and dangerous and horrible. But that's why they did it. Trans fats were kind of magic.
Yeah. So when learning all about that stuff, and see, the weird thing is I've never saw too many chemicals being added. I mean, right. I've done work for Domino's Pizza. If you ever bought a Domino's Pizza in Southern California,
oh no,
I'm responsible for the my computer programs made the dough for it.
Wow, neat. I've had Domino's in Michigan and Virginia.
Yeah. I buy Domino's here in Oklahoma City, but I'm just gonna say it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Presumably.
I mean, I'm a Michigander. I go for a Little Caesars $5 pizza in a heartbeat. I don't care if it's pure asbestos and lead. Like $5 for a pizza. Woohoo! It's hot and ready. That's all I care.
Let's see. My computer programs make half the Kit Kat bars in the United States.
Do I love Kit Kat? Oh my God, do I love Kit Kat. In Canada, they have Kit Kat machines where that's the only thing they sell, and they'll be like 10 buttons, and all the buttons are Kit Kat buttons, and the machine itself is decorated Kit Kat. It's like, it is the coolest thing. It's like a shrine to Kit Kat. It's amazing, but it gives you this sort of illusion of choice because there's more than one button, but they're all Kit Kat. It's so cool. It's in Canada on the 401 on the way to Toronto from Detroit. I'd never seen it before. I took many, many pictures of the Kit Kat machine. Like, why don't we have those here? They're so cool.
I, for one, write software bugs for a living.
You write software bugs? Things that shit the bed on purpose?
Not on purpose. I don't intentionally write software bugs for a living. It just so happens that.
Those are features. Those are features.
Features, not bugs. I tell him that all the time.
As soon as it runs, ship it.
He's secretly brilliant, too. Secretly. Humble.
I have one bug, so I take that bug and I patch it up, and then I have 5 bugs. And job security. So I was going to mention that kind of on topic.
Speaking of none of this, yeah.
Yeah. So the GMOh Skeptic Forum, who has a community on Google Plus as well as on Facebook, is hosting. Where did it go? October 29th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. They're hosting a Q&A session with Chris McDonald. His blogs include businessethicsblog.com and foodethics.com. There's more information on the link I'll put in the comments on this Hangout after we're finished. So if you have a chance to check that out, do so. I know I definitely will. Much to my boss's dismay.
Food ethics. He's not going to have a problem with the fact that all atheists eat babies and whatnot. He's not going to bother us about that, huh?
No, I assume not.
That's a given. Okay, he just needs to understand. That's a given. Everybody just knows that. That's just saying. Just saying.
But if not, what do we have for the barbecue on the weekends?
I mean, they're free-range babies. They're allowed to crawl out in the pen and they wander about because nobody's paying attention to what they do anyway. Till it's barbecue time.
And they're fed organic breast milk or something.
Absolutely. You want them to be nicely marbled. You know, considering they're babies, they're not going to be that nicely marbled. But for babies, they're free range and happy and wandering about.
I'm going to get a visit from ICAC now. That's great.
Well, you're a vegetarian. Everyone knows you're a vegetarian. You don't eat meat of any kind, but the rest of us, baby eaters, definitely baby.
They're little tofu babies, I promise.
Yeah, you have the tofu babies with the baby shapes.
It's baby-like.
And it's baby shaped, right?
That's right.
They're like tofurkey. They put it in the shape of things that you're not willing to eat, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. Oh, you find meat disgusting? Let's make our product look just like meat. Okay, well, how does that go again?
Just like meat is that's a bit of a stretch.
That is the pitch from the college vegetarian.
That is the pitch, but to say it look or taste just like meat, that's going a bit far.
The way that a Jolly Rancher apple flavor tastes anything remotely like an apple, the way that tofurkey is shaped like remotely like meat. Yeah, it's got the stereotypical drumstick shape.
It's like how grape soda tastes just like grape.
Sugar water purple. Sugar water purple. That is a trade secret. But sugar water purple.
Purple drink.
It's drink, Ninja. It's drink. Sugar water purple.
Dan Baptiste has cherry pop. Excellent.
In Detroit, you get Faygo. Oh my God, do I love Faygo? Faygo is the most delicious soda pop ever, but the flavors are like nothing you find in nature. It may say something, you're like, oh, pineapple, that's a flavor in nature. Yeah, this is not that. It is a neon, ungodly, like just ridiculous, nuclear, glowy, orange deliciousness, pure sugar, wonder, made by the fine people in Detroit. And you buy it in 3 liters. This is a blasphemy, totally. You can buy it an abomination in 3 liters. Like, what? Doesn't it come in 2 liters? 3 liters. You heard me. 3 liters. It's like 99 cents. 3 liters.
I haven't seen 3-liter bottles in years.
Oh yeah, Faygo, Detroit.
I forgot they made those.
And in Virginia, they have something delicious called cheer wine. I'd never heard of it. Oh my God, is that good? Cheer wine, and it's like Faygo.
Faygo, isn't that the insane clown posse drink?
Hey, don't you start.
I'm just saying. I knew I'd heard it somewhere, and I'm pretty sure that's where I heard. Okay.
Yes, you have. All right. You have a juggalo among you. Don't even start. You might not love me anymore if I admit to being a juggalo.
Well, we need to talk.
We do. I'll announce it. I'm a juggalo secretly.
All right then. Well.
And if you believe that, I have some land to sell you.
I don't know what to say to any of that.
What's
I'm
a
just
juggalo?
Smile and nod.
Smiling.
Nigel notes that the reason to study ethics is to learn how to best justify any action logically.
Okay, well, I eat babies because they're annoying and because I don't have any, so I have no soul.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's probably not right. It's probably fractally wrong, all of it. Yeah.
I'm sure there's at least something in there that's right.
Yeah, I don't have kids, that's true, but the rest of it, yeah. No. That's terrible.
See, Dan Baptiste says, yeah, I'm in Canada. You can only get it in the States. I imagine...
Faygo.
Not Faygo, yeah.
Or baby meat.
That or roasted baby meat.
Well,
I would be surprised. It would surprise me you can't get that somewhere else. But.
The thing is, they don't slaughter their own babies because Canadians are polite and wonderful people, but you can get it at the import shops, at the places that sell American food. Yeah, the places you can get Faygo, you can get the atheist baby meat as well, but it's imported because Canadians would never kill their own babies. They have, universal health care. Their babies tend to survive.
So Nigel asks, so did you all get a bunch of weird questions after your last GMO discussion? Did you get any flack from anyone or fellow
No.
skeptics? No, I don't really think much of anyone's watching this anyway.
Yeah,
so-
we're not important enough. We're not even
Yeah.
wrong, as they say. We're not good. We're not even wrong. We're not that important.
If
yet.
people were watching this, they're just like, who are these jackasses?
A to go to bed. Just saying.
Yeah. All they do is say a bunch of foul-mouthed BS and try and act smart. Like, yep, that's us.
Yeah.
I'm
Except
not trying to act smart. I say drivel all the time. I'm not even trying to act smart.
And then we did discover we have the expert in the house.
Yes.
Oh, stealthy expert Mike Bowler. How about that?
So, Mike, I'm interested. Did you change your perspective after having kind of like front row access and like secret access to all these different companies and their procedures and products? Was there a shift? Like you went in with certain preconceptions and then were enlightened, or you know what I mean?
A little bit. There was there was that. Is it chemicals bad, natural good?
Oh, the naturalistic fallacy. You were one of those.
Well, not so much, but it was like when you started looking at some of this stuff and seeing how they made, like in the dairies. I mean, they're not doing anything. They're not. There's nothing being added, nothing being taken out.
So you were just reassured. Like it seems like clean, pure milk, and guess what? It's clean, pure milk taken from cows and cleaned. That's what I assume is happening. But that's I think growing up in northern Michigan, I had access to a lot of farmers, and they have their dairies, and it's like it's put through machines and it's safe, and go ahead.
Never sees the light of day basically, and goes right into a tanker. The tanker goes to the dairy. The dairy takes it in.
And you can tour it. It's a very transparent process. They welcome you. We went as school children many times to the dairy, and it's like, just like you said, like there's the cows, there's the machines. The cows seem happy. The workers, the place is a farm. It's not especially, sanitized. I would probably never do the raw milk thing, but it's just farm grade dirty, and there's nothing creepy about it, really.
Right.
Nothing to see, folks, really. It's like nothing to see here, which is great because I drink a lot of milk.
And then, when I started working at NutraSweet, the chemicals they used were pretty nasty. But you know what? When I started learning the processes, it's like, well, these are just intermediaries. They'll use toluene to break up the molecules. Then the molecules come back together in a different order.
Yeah, those bonds are everything.
Right, and out it goes as powder or granules. They'll package it. They have a whole range depending on who's using it. Whether it's a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi, they'll get the big 25 kilo packages.
They're big like rock salt bags, like big, huge, industrial grade, industrial size. Yeah, neat.
Yeah, then they'll even go for like fountain drinks. They had
I love fountain drinks.
They'll have the mini packets that you just pour it in there, and now I think they've come up with a new way of doing that, and putting NutraSweet in fountain drinks. But at the time I was there, it was all it was just little 1 kilo packages, and or even half kilos, whatever the customer needed.
That goes in the big machine. So you go to the gas station, you get your I love fountain drinks so much. Get your fountain drinks, but so they use the same. I didn't even think about that. They use the same Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, are using the same fake sweetener. It never even occurred to me. That's interesting because the taste is so different. So the difference must be elsewhere in their formula.
Right. Actually,
so different.
When I was working there, the Coca-Cola bought from University Park, Illinois. Pepsi bought from the Augusta, Georgia plant.
But the chemical's the same.
Yeah, I think, but there was some preference. I don't know if it had to do with how it's put together, because the University Park was an older process.
Oh, I see. The process is different.
The process itself.
I would think it'd be standardized. That's fascinating.
Yeah, there were. Again, and that probably doesn't matter. NutraSweet technically doesn't exist anymore. It's now been sold again and again a few times. But one of the issues with the Augusta plant was that there was a lot of extra mercury being produced. That was a big issue.
Oh, right.
And then University Park had their metal shavings issue. um, oh, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened there, but it had to do with there's a feeder that would they would feed the product. It would go through a magnet to pick up any
Mm-hmm.
metal shavings, but for some reason, well, you need a rare earth magnet to pick up
Mm-hmm.
stainless steel, and that's what was going through. And one of our customers started finding metal shavings in their product.
Oh my God. I can't believe that wasn't on the news everywhere.
It was caught internally, so a lot of the stuff, if it gets caught before it goes to the customer or
Right,
leaves
that
the,
makes sense. Right.
then it kind of stays
Right.
within the organ. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
That makes sense.
yeah, I mean it
That's
still gets,
something everybody does.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Self-correct.
yeah, but it still gets reported.
Oh, sure. Ocean, on and on. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
so it was there was that, and so they started until they figured out they started X-raying everything using airport X-rayers
Oh, wow.
to find the metal shavings. So it was kind of dicey there for a while, but they worked through the problem, and of course I got a whole ton of work to do to replace these magnets and stuff. So it was,
That is amazing.
yeah,
When I was in England, I noticed that the Coke and Pepsi were delivered by the same guy. And my friend said, oh, yeah, and not only that, the plant that mixes it, guess what? Coke and Pepsi both. I was like, what? In the U.S., these are separate systems. As far as I know, you don't see the guy pull up with the Coke and Pepsi product. Nope.
yeah.
There's the Pepsi truck and the Coke truck, and never the twain shall meet. I mean, they even made Super Bowl commercials about it. So did you ever work somewhere where the people that work there or the higher ups refuse to eat their product? Like people that work for RJR don't smoke because they know it's terrible and dangerous and gross. You ever work somewhere where it's like, I don't drink Coke, that shit is dangerous. Somewhere like that, like where they were actually afraid of their own product.
Not really.
That's interesting. That to me is a big tell right there.
Yeah. I mean, when I was at Hershey,
Oh my God, you were at Hershey. You're my new best friend. I have access to all
yeah,
these goodies.
that was the greatest job because they would bring in
Mm-hmm.
everything, like they would keep a stock of in the offices.
Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful.
Let's see, there was the
Yeah, did you go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, literally? 'Cause I'm in Pennsylvania, and I've
They,
been to
did they have
Hershey.
to widen the doors in the
I
facility a
know,
bit?
right? I know.
actually
All our 10
actually
plus year employees, like they.
yeah,
They get
actually,
dialysis for their 10th year anniversary.
apparently. No, it was cool, and they actually kind of encouraged you to taste test everything.
Oh my God, Reese, you, Jonathan, and Reese. I can only imagine you and your peanut butter. They make everything wonderful peanut butter, Hershey.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I was, the wafers that goes into the Kit Kat bars.
Oh, so good.
I don't know about you, but my years as a pastry chef, it was necessary. You always have to taste what you make and make sure it tastes right. It was just consistent. And after a while, like I was just sick and tired of tasting all of that.
Oh God, that is so
And
bizarre.
now here I am a few years later. It's like, hey, you want some dessert? Nope. Like, give me some fresh fruit because screw all that.
Oh, but yet
Yeah.
you're willing to
Oh yeah,
make it for
I'll
other
make desserts.
people.
Like I don't mind making desserts. That's fine. Just I don't want to eat them myself anymore. I don't have a sweet tooth, as it turns
I
out.
think that's amazing. I wish I
Now,
could do that.
You put an open jar of peanut butter in a room. You could do like the old cartoon style box trap, like box shit,
Acme
jar of
on the
peanut butter.
side.
I will walk right into that like, ooh, look, open peanut butter.
But like, yeah, at the ice cream plant,
Oh my God.
they would taste test the, because it's, I was working in two rooms. One was the half gallon, what they call the half gallon room. That's all your half gallon, 1 gallon, 5 gallon packages. And then there was the novelty side, which was your ice cream bars. Mostly it was
Oh
ice
my
cream and
God.
popsicles. And the ladies that ran that line, I mean, they were big girls.
I bet. I
But
would be
it's-
800 pounds, I'm telling you.
But like every 100 or so bars that went by, they would grab one off and, while they're checking the package, make sure the package is sealed properly. Then they would eat about half the bar and then pitch it out, so that, because you had to be real careful about things like in the half gallon area, when you freeze ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
there's this, it's called overrun,
Mm-hmm.
where they'll blow air into the mix.
Right.
And if you well, there's that and the speed you run the blades at.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause these were heat exchangers. They would, well, heat. Yeah, it would freeze. It would freeze it down to like a soft serve.
Right. Isn't kind of like with antifreeze and air, and there's kind of this process of
Right.
yeah.
And that your premium ice creams, ones that cost more, have less air in it than your
Definitely.
store bought.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the secret. That's the secret of
Breyers. I'm an ice cream purist, and I refuse to eat any of the ones with the antifreeze. It's not because it's antifreeze; it's because it tastes slick in a way that I don't like, and I can taste it. I don't like it. It has this consistency that's weird. But Breyers, it had like 4 things in it, and I just love that. It's so good.
I got to learn how to do all that on a really minor scale, working in country clubs. Like we had this like $6,000 ice cream machine, and no one knew how to use it. So I'm like, okay, I'll learn how to do this. And so there I am. Those are all things I had to learn about too. And got to make all kinds of custom flavors. Like, what kind of flavor you want? How about mango peach? You got it.
Yeah.
Breyers made vanilla the most exquisite thing ever. And it's like, yeah, it's just plain vanilla. Yeah, if you had Breyers Vanilla Bean in 1989, that was a religious experience.
Well, and that was the funny thing. It was the same mix, whether it was this was in New York, and they made they were a supplier for A&P. They made Steve's ice cream.
Steve's. Mm-hmm.
And I forget what some of the other. I don't know if they did Breyers there or not. I mean,
Breyers was God.
But I know Steve, like with the store bought stuff, they would get these bulk, like when they do the Oreo cookie type. They would get the for the cheaper stuff. They would get the was it Hydrox made these bulk.
Yeah, Hydrox is kind of like Oreo. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get it in bulk, like I think like a 25-pound box, and they would just dump the box into this. They call them the fruit feeders, but it was just a feeder to add it to the frozen. But Steve's ice cream would actually have like what the Oreo cookies you would buy in the store. I mean, in the the store packages, and they would cut the packages open and do that.
Oh, they literally use the brand, like the brand name, whatever, Oreos and whatnot.
Right.
What was the base the same, and the difference was only the filler or the added addition, whatever it was?
Oh, the air. That's the big deal because the more air you add, you lower the butter fat content. So if you go too far, though, that the butter fat actually works its way out, and actually it clogs the blades in the heat exchanger. And then all of a sudden you're not getting any ice cream out. You're getting this green butter, basically.
Ew.
So they're really, you have to be real, you have to monitor it. I mean, it's usually, they don't have any trouble, but if there was an issue and they over aired it, then they get that problem. And then they would flash freeze. Well, there was that. See, like the freezer will give you, it would come out like a soft serve, kind of like a thick soft serve, and then they put it in the flash freezer. It was like they call them Amarios. I think that was a brand name, and they would just flood it with liquid ammonia and freeze it instantly.
I just remember Breyers wouldn't make it home from the grocery store. Like, I buy it, and it's ice cream sort of consistency by the time I got home because there's no preservatives in it. It would be almost soupy. And instead of getting pissed off, I just saw that as, you know what, that's because it's a high-quality product. It's got 5 things in it. I think when I first started buying in the 80s, it was, I mean, in my little northern Michigan town, it was super fancy, and it was, even back then, it was $7 or $8. But all it said on the side was like milk, cream, sugar, vanilla bean. That's it. Whereas you look at Edie's or any other ice cream, it was like, even Haagen-Dazs has a million things in it that you can't pronounce. Breyers has these simple things now, though. Their vanilla bean, I don't know if they sold it to someone else or whatever. It's totally different now. It's got a bunch more stuff in it, and it doesn't taste like it used to. They really did something to bastardize it in a way that made it just totally not even the same product, not even close.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that must have been a cost-effective thing, or they sold it or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Find cheaper alternatives or whatever.
Which is terrible. I mean, I can't be the only purist out there that really just loved this product and was willing to pay the $8 back then.
Yeah.
So we have 3 questions. One is, what's speaking English? Sure. Okay.
What's speaking English? I'm not.
Yeah,
I certainly am not. No.
I'm barely doing so. Alexander Cannell asks, "What's the meaning of life?" That's a great
Meaning
question.
of life.
42.
I would say Briar's
And I,
42. Yes, there's
I
that.
thought of that, and then I just thought, I don't know.
Yeah, there's that, and I would say Briar's ice cream. If you have a time machine and you can get it in its original form, I would say that is the meaning and purpose to my life is to have as much vanilla bean of that grade.
Officially, I'll get back to you officially on that at some point. Carol Baskin and somebody else both mentioned that they are digging the cat on the back of their chair, baby. So.
Everybody wants to say hi to Gracie, so we'll say hi, Gracie. Gracie will make a cameo appearance. Hi, Gracie. Hi, Gracie Bean. She loves the attention. She says hi. Also, she's a big fan of ice cream of any kind. She doesn't have any preferences. If it's a dairy product, be it half and half or a cottage cheese or yogurt, whatever, she'll eat it. She is a dairy queen. Regardless of the fact she's lactose intolerant, she says, well, it's a choice, isn't it? So, yeah. Yeah, she says lactose intolerance is a choice. So, yeah, she has half and half every time I make coffee. She smells the coffee and comes running in from outside and has a healthy dollop of half and half. And she screams at me in the kitchen until I give it up. So, yeah, there's no forgetting.
So Mike, I would ask, so in your time there in that industry, did you come across any things that you would say were legitimate health concerns that you see addressed by, I don't know, like you see addressed in a public forum, like the way people will talk about GMOs or other chemicals in foods? Like, did you actually see any legitimate concerns?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Not really.
we're about? Yeah.
Not the places I've been.
Because those are major companies and their due diligence is probably top priority.
Yeah.
You know,
actually, the pharmaceutical though is the one I have issues with. Not so much that they're not. When you get a management culture that seems to value profit over quality.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in software development. Wait, what?
We just talked about Briars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in a way, most companies are kind of like that.
But their product is more, important.
Yeah, more important.
Pharmaceutical, yeah, that's heart medicine, that's diabetes medicine, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, this place I worked at, it was, it was just the one time I worked in pharmaceutical, and it was mostly I was there because the company really fucked up bad.
Oh, and you were damage control, huh?
We were cleaning up the ugly mess that for a while. They didn't even want to acknowledge they had a problem. The FDA came in with a dissent decree that they were to make all these changes, and the plant manager says, "We won't." Literally, he said, "We won't make these changes." And it took a night in jail for him to realize that maybe the FDA does mean business.
I was going to say, that's not somebody you just say no to.
Yeah. I mean, and it was just this culture there that, talking about pasteurization, there was a part of this process where they would take the drug that they were making and they would put it into a water bath, and of course they would heat it up to 200 and some degrees. And part of that water bath had 100 thermocouples that were supposed to be monitored.
Mm-hmm.
And according to their SOP, if more than 5 of those thermocouples either read wrong or failed or something along that lines, they were supposed to reject the batch. And someone made the decision, no, we don't have to. It was only 5. We knew that all the other ones were reading correct and everything was across the board was correct, so we just went ahead and shipped it.
Mm.
So they got dinged and they had to recall, I think it was like 2 or 3 batches. Each batch was $1 million a pop, and that was just to make the stuff, and we're talking making about a hand. I mean, if you took your hands together, and filled it up with like sugar, that product that much was worth $1 million to this company.
Wow.
And I mean, it was like a major fuck up. But you had a management that said, "Oh, we don't need to follow this SOP." Well, the FDA says if you write. See, the thing is, and what I thought was interesting was that the companies write. They allow the companies to write their own SOPs. They know how to make the product, so they'll write the stuff up. So the company had the they knew how to make the stuff. They knew what it was, and they decided not to follow their own rules. I mean, that's what's worse about it. And I'm like, my God, what a bunch of I mean, don't these people care? Type of I mean, this is this product. I think it took like a week or two to make, anyhow, just from the various steps that have to go through, and then it's like, okay, you just flushed 2 months worth of production. You now have to buy all that or recall all that stuff, and there's people who really need it. I mean, it was kind of a specialty drug, but there's people who needed it real bad, and it's like, but that's like they didn't care. It all had to do with money, and that's the I would like to think there is no such thing as big pharma, but I seen it when they fuck up, and it's not pretty.
That's one thing, along that lines with we've talked about before with a lot of conspiracy theories is the possibility is there to some extent, like the whole big pharma thing. Well, big pharma is not in the industry of killing its customers. At the same time, there are some companies that might value profit over quality. So if that were the complaint, I would say that people had about any given industry, like about agriculture, about pharmaceuticals, like our problem is that they value the money over the quality, rather than they're making poison to kill us. With a less radical approach, you would have someone would have my ear a lot quicker. Like, oh, they're making poor quality products. Well, how do you know this? Well, here's how I know this. Well, wait a minute, that's not cool. Versus, oh, they're making poison, they're trying to mind control us. Okay, or or all the different poisons that are killing us. Like, to what end? Like, you don't kill off your customer base. If you want to make a lot of money, you don't do that by killing the people that are giving you that money.
Right. I mean, your profit is based on market share.
Right.
You kill off your market, you make no profit. It's like, and these people seem to think, these corporations are wanting, especially these people believe in a globalist agenda. They believe that these globalists, the Ted Turners, the Bill Gates, these various, they like to talk about, like a food cartel, oil, but like they want to, the stated purpose is to kill off 90% of the population and create these little fiefdoms, turn the rest into slaves to these families. And it's like, well, wait a minute, you built your profit off of selling this product to your base, and you're killing them off. That doesn't sound like good business practice to me.
Yeah, to what end? Like, so you have a little fiefdom. Okay, so now you have your fiefdom, and what are you going to do with that then? If you were to tell me that the Jif Peanut Butter Company put a small additive in that makes their peanut butter addictive to guys like me, I would be right on board with that.
Yeah.
I would be very curious in knowing what it is, because I have a problem, and it is peanut butter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hershey chocolate is like the best that when I can tell the difference between the stuff that's made by Nestle versus the stuff that's made by Hershey. There's like this real distinct difference. And I mean, I do prefer the Hershey over Nestle, but hey, chocolate's chocolate. I love it.
Yeah, when I was a pastry chef, my favorite chocolate was, I want to say it was Dutch or Swiss, that it was imported, called Berry Callebaut. Oh my God, that stuff was so delicious. That was some of the better chocolate I'd ever had. Now, unfortunately, again, now these years later, like, hey, you want some chocolate? No, not really. I completely burned myself out on all kinds of sweets in that job somehow.
Yeah.
That and losing 150 pounds, like, there's part of that was telling myself, you know what, these things you really don't need or want these things. So I bought into that. Like, yes, I really don't need or want those things. Now, if I could do that same thing with pizza, if I could tell myself I really don't need or want pizza, I'd be even better off now. So
Yeah.
that is a lifelong addiction as well. That and peanut butter. Well, we're running up on our time, I guess, and we've lost Brandy. This has been technical difficulties up the ass today.
Pretty much.
But very important, definitely very informative. We will be back next week with more people and less problems, presumably. So thank
Hopefully.
you for the few people who have watched us. And and I was going to mention that I've been watching the analytics on the videos, and we've had the last couple of weeks our videos have had 50 plus views, either while we're doing it or after. So we're gaining a minor bit of traction, I suppose.
Yeah, that's cool.
We can keep hassling. Maybe we can get Dumbass on here soon. That'd be nice. And
Yeah.
Michael McElroy's got someone lined up that he wants to get in for the talk on linguistics, which I'm excited about. I can talk about a little bit about my programming project. I'm writing a little chatter bot that's also a therapy bot. I'll talk
Actually,
a little bit about that.
Some dumbass news. There's the new Dumbass Guide to Knowledge out,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently he's also hooked up with the Amateur Skeptics,
Nice.
and the Amateur Skeptics is now part of the Dumbass Media Network, or Empire, as we call it.
Nice.
So that was some big news. I was psyched.
Very cool.
So we're moving forward, ever forward.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, make a habit of plugging that on here. You might get all of a listener and a half over a month.
Yeah.
Their huge base we have going here.
Well, I've been promoting it on my shows,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been trying to. There's a weird thing about Google Calendars. I wanted to transfer the invite, or I'm trying to figure out how to set up an invite on my podcast. I got just a calendar set up for stuff I do, and I wanted to get this on there as upcoming stuff that I'm doing.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to copy that over, or it doesn't seem to like to work all the time.
I have a couple of ideas. We'll go ahead and get off broadcast here, and I'll tell you a couple of ideas I have for that. So whoever's watching still, thank you for watching, and come back next week. We'll have less problems, hopefully.
Hopefully.